Everybody leaves a meeting, everybody leaves a conversation, and then periodically they come back. When you ask this question, I'd like to shift to a larger topic. Raz says, whoops, pay attention. Okay, and that's what I needed, right? And then you ask him, think about the entire process of evaluating a solution to address keeping your most valuable customers longer, right? And thinking about your concerns in that area from this point to that point. And so you describe beginning to end, whatever it looks in your business. Okay? Including these milestones, and you get to start telling them the things they should be thinking about right there without having to preach to them. It's kind of conversational. Let me give it to you in my business. As you think about the entire process of raising sales performance, starting with identifying how big the gap is you need to close, assessing whether or not the people you have can and will close that gap, deciding how much to invest in them, what ROI you're going to have to make this pay for you, and then measuring that in the coming couple of years, what parts of that process will be most important to you. Now, I just ran a tutorial for him on the stuff he ought to be thinking about if he's talking to people like me. And most of it he's not thinking about at all. And what's my goal in bringing that stuff up? What am I trying to accomplish with regard to the 2 reasons why people have a sales force? I'm out to alter his decision process by running a quick question. Here's what people that talk to people like me who are successful do. But I can get it done in the form of a question. So you can drop in the milestones. And you can begin to suggest, here are some things, but what's going to be most important to you in deciding whether or not to do this? Or what parts of that are giving you the biggest challenge? This is a big, fat pain finder. It is a big, fat, tell me what's keeping you awake nights without having to say, tell me what's keeping you awake nights, because they get that from a million other salespeople. Okay? So the point is, I can have one of these. And so in the situation in the southeastern United States that I mentioned earlier with the healthcare CEO, when we got to this question, it sounded like this. Well, as you think about the entire process of verifying what the system needs to do for you going forward, it was an IT solution, and thinking about the essential requirements that the system's going to have for such things as whether or not it can pay for itself in the next 3 years. See, that's not ever part of the RFP process. Can the thing make us money and pay itself back? But my client's DV was they could do that. They could generate revenue with the system, not just improve accounts receivable, marketing revenue. And so we said, including things like making the system pay for itself in the next 3 years, and deciding whether or not you want your employees to have to shape to the way the software works, or you want to shape the software to the way your people work, because that's our DV, right? So we start planting those seeds along the way, and including making sure you avoid strike 3. What parts of that process are right now giving you the most concern? What parts of that are going to be your biggest challenge, okay? Now, I'm going to give you, I want to talk about this for a minute, because you can read this later, and this question will require that you take a lot of time to build it. I want you to have the tools to build it. Time permitting, I'll come back and give you time to build it this morning, but we got a ton of other stuff I got to do that is equally important. So you understand this concept. This is the second of the 5 critical questions. It will take some work, but when you do it, it will make you a ton of money. And the reason is you're going to find out what's important to them, but you're also beginning to turn the spotlight on that they may not fully understand the consequences of not being your client. And you get all that done with one very effectively crafted question.